you, but when I came to the airport this morning, I found out that my flight had been cancelled. So I'm happy that I can join you in this way instead, and I hope that you can hear me well and see my presentation as well. So my name is Håkan Kihlberg, and I work for a Swedish chemical company called Perstorp AB. And I will today talk about how we, Perstorp, drive the transition to become climate neutral and why. And I will also talk in particular a bit about our project AIR. I will talk about 12 minutes or so, and there will be also then after the presentation time for questions. First of all, Perstorp, we are, as I said, a chemical company. We are a relatively small global company, but we are all around the world. And we are fully owned by Petronas Chemical Group. And though we might be relatively small on the markets and in the segments wherever we are working, we are actually big. We are world leader in almost all markets where we are active in. Project AIR, Perstorp is together with Uniper carrying out Project AIR, and that is a project where we will produce 200,000 tons of sustainable methanol. And we will do that because we want to replace the 200,000 tons of fossil methanol that we today use as our main and most important raw material. And when we are doing that, replacing the fossil methanol, we will actually reduce the emissions of greenhouse gases with an amount that equals 500,000 tons of carbon dioxide. Project AIR is a project that is supported by the European Innovation Fund and also by the Swedish fund Industriklivet. How this will work is that we will build up at Perstorp site in Stenungsund, which is about 50 kilometers north from Gothenburg. At our site, we will build this unit to produce methanol, and we will then capture carbon dioxide from the existing production. We will also capture carbon and hydrogen-rich residues from the existing production. Uniper will set up an electrolyzer to produce hydrogen and supply Perstorp with that. And the electrolyzer will be powered with renewable electricity from wind and from hydropower. We will also use biomethane that we will buy on the market as an important raw material. And with this blend, feedstock blend, we will be able to produce 200,000 tons of sustainable methanol, and then thus reducing the emission to air of corresponding to 500,000 tons of carbon dioxide annually. This methanol will be used by Perstorp to produce Perstorp's products that will then be provided to the markets and will end up in thousands of different applications. So why are we doing this? Well, first of all, Perstorp is fully convinced that industry, society, we need to go towards climate neutral manufacturing. We are fully committed to the Paris Agreement. We fully support the Green Deal and Fit for 55, and we follow with interest also the development in other parts of the world. Now, the chemical industry may not perhaps be so very well known of what is it actually that what we are doing, but we are crucial for the rest of the industry and for society as such. 96% of Europe's industry completely dependent on materials coming from the chemical industry. And we are very early in the value chain also. So if the industry and society is going to change, the chemical industry needs to do this transition as well. And in fact, if we look at the carbon footprint that we have, we can see that more than 80% of the carbon footprint for Perstorp's side comes from raw material. But it's not just us. This is equal for most of the chemical industry, but also down the value stream and value chain, we see the same situation. So if we are going to become climate neutral, we need to replace our raw materials. And that is a challenge because today, the chemical industry is completely dependent on fossil raw materials, fossil carbon, fossil hydrogen. And if we are not going to use the fossil raw materials any longer, we need to completely depend on recycled materials and renewable material as such. So as a company, as industry, and as society, we need to promote the development of a society and an economy that is built on recycling and renewables. And furthermore, we also think that we need to prioritize using recycled and renewables to build materials. Because if we build materials, we will actually keep and tie in the carbon into the materials. And again, it's possible to recycle and reuse it. And as I said, we are very early in the value chain. And that means that we can actually start by using the carbon and the hydrogen early in the value chain. And for all steps in the value chain, we will add value and we will add opportunities for jobs. Whereas if we use it as fuel, we will have one pass through and then it goes up to the atmosphere where it doesn't add any value and it doesn't add any uh, 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 anything good at all, in short. Okay, so Perstorp, we we are quite pioneers in doing this transition to become climate neutral. Already 2010, we introduced and launched our first pro-environment product, as we call it. And those products are products where we are replacing fossil raw materials with renewables and recycled. And in 2010, we replaced all the raw materials in one of our products from fossil into renewables, but not only the raw materials, also the energy. Since then, we have developed our product portfolio, and now we have a very broad portfolio of pro-environment products. We have also production sites, a couple of production sites where we are producing pro-environment products. And we will continue to expand our sites so that all our sites ultimately will be able to produce pro-environmental products. We have a strong and clear position on the market as provider of low carbon footprint products. The challenge we have now is also to become cost competitive. And the problem is that the raw materials, the green raw materials, are much costlier than the alternative that is fossil. And if we take the example with methanol, which is relevant for Perstorp and for Project Air, methanol is one of these large, huge chemicals on the world market with a total volume of more than 80 million tons annually. There are many different producers, but all of it, basically all of it, is produced from natural gas or from coal or from some other fossil feedstock as such. 75% of the methanol is actually used within the chemical sector as raw materials, and 25% is today used as fuels. But if we look at the green methanol, biomethanol, sustainable methanol, there we have the production volume, the global volume is just a fraction. It's 100,000 tons, perhaps today 200,000 tons, and there are just a few producers, and most of them are in Europe. And the cost is much higher, twice as high. Actually, today, I think it's more than 3 times as high. And that is a problem. If we look at where the methanol is utilized today, the biomethanol is used today, it is almost all of it is used as fuel. And that is because the fuel market has the possibility to pay the price that we have on sustainable methanol. And there is the reason for why we are doing Project Air. It is to secure the supply of sustainable methanol for us. We are convinced that much more sustainable methanol will be produced within the next 5-10 years, absolutely. But the demand for sustainable methanol will increase much more than that. We are also convinced that the price will follow, but we can, with Project Air, guarantee that we have a lower and also more stable cost for sustainable methanol. And by doing this, Perstorp can provide to the market a solution for our customers, a cost-efficient solution to reduce the carbon footprint. And that is why we are doing this. And I think that was actually the last slide I had. So Project Air, Perstorp and Uniper together. And then I think I'm open for questions.
Yes, thanks a lot. We have, in fact, a couple of questions. Let's see how far we get. The first one here on my list is, what are the challenges and barriers that need to be addressed in the widespread adoption of sustainably produced methanol?
I think the biggest challenge is actually to make sure that we have access to the renewables and to the recycled raw materials. And as it is today, it is of course a very challenging situation where we can see that prices of renewables, if we are talking about biomethane or if we are talking about electricity for that matter, it is very uncertain as it is now. What will the development be in the next coming years? And the timing issue here is, of course, of highest importance for us and for others doing this change.
Mm-hmm. Let's switch maybe to costs. You already talked about the challenge of being cost competitive. My first question, it's not on the list, but it's the following: is Project Air for you a positive business case?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
It's definitely a positive business case. However, it is not that we have a huge advantage or so as such. We do not expect that we can take out huge premiums on this that will cover the investment as such. Therefore, it was also important that we got the support from the Innovation Fund and from the Swedish fund as well. But I mean, Perstorp is a company struggling as all other companies. We need to make a profit, and so that is necessary also in this case.
Perfect. Then it's time to say thank you once again.